Hello, folks, and welcome back to Tag Der Toten, the official podcast of Call of Duty Zombies forums, or at least the third iteration. It's been under a number of different hosts. At any rate, this time, again, I am NaBrZHunter, and with me is Tack, as usual, Monopoly Mac, and also Mattz, and we're going to talk about the obvious topic, Tag Der Toten. What are we looking at in the aftermath?
I guess it's maybe standard for a DLC for the last 2-3 installments where it's kind of mixed.
Well, let's move on to Mac real quick. Mac put in extra effort today to be with us. Not only is he, not feeling his best, but he managed to lug in a microphone. So
Hi,
we can
guys.
actually hear it this time. What? What was that?
Hi guys, Monopoly Mac here. Even though I haven't played the map one iota, I am completely confident in giving my unbiased opinions here, based solely on Hunter's gameplay through his streams. So yeah, it's very, reminiscent of Call of the Dead. I mean, it's a remastering, reinvention, however you want to call it. I mean, they definitely spend a lot of time closing ends of storylines or characters from previous games, such as Harvey Yena or Pablo Marinus, and perhaps at the expense of other elements of the story that were introduced in Black Ops 3, like Monty and Shadow Man. But overall, it's don't cry that it's over, smile that it happened.
Amen. Dude, that was about the most eloquent, well said, Mac. That was beautiful. Tack, at last.
So yeah, my first impression is that excluding the cutscene, which we'll get to, I've enjoyed all of the notes, all of the drawings. I really like that there's radios again. Personally, just since we're all Black Ops, or at least most of us are Black Ops 1 people here. So yeah, I like that they did Call of the Dead. I'm happy that they're doing these Black Ops 1 remakes, honestly, like I said, just because that's our stuff.
It honestly didn't occur to me that this was it was a game of remakes until people were complaining about it, and I was like, wait, I forgot. They were so good. Shoot my unpopular opinion over here, apparently. Our unpopular opinion.
Yeah, there's a lot of maps I wish they would just keep. I wish they would do more of these. Imagine a remastered Shangri-La, or reimagining or whatever. I think it'd be so.
That
cool.
would be another Ascension. Could be incredible.
Oh, yeah.
There's so much stuff that's hinted to in the very existence of these maps in areas that you never see. Even Doriza. We have what, 4 Dorizas?
I can't believe that
3.
they haven't
Dorizas.
expanded on Doriz.
They remade it 3 times and just never made it any bigger or anything. They just kind of.
Get us in the area down below Juggernaut.
Yeah.
That's an easy
labs.
one.
It's back to remakes.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've enjoyed the remake tour personally, but I understand that some people, haven't. But
I would say my 15-second impression is that Tack, you actually all 4 of us hopped on that call right the day it came out. I was driving home from work, and we were talking about presentation of Apothicons and Keepers, aka more or less. And I had said that I wish that y'all said something about a drawing of an Apothicon. A sketch of an Apothicon.
the big fishy in the sea.
Big fishy, that's right, big fishy. And I was like, this is the way that I wish they would have done it all along. I feel like Black Ops 4 set us up and prepared us for our first encounter with a real Apothicon or Keeper. We got launched right into our first encounter with them in Black Ops 3. We should have gotten these kind of visual teasers beforehand. And I honestly love it. Despite my distaste for Apothicons and Keepers, I like the way they were presented in this map. I like the way they appeared. I like everything about it so far.
Yep. I like it when they intertwine it and make it central to the lore. They just don't quite they just present it differently.
Exactly. It's not right in your face, but it feels
Black Ops 3 just felt like, look at all these floating Margwas all in your face. And it's just, Every time I think of the Margo, I always think of that glitch where he floats down from an upper level and he's just kind of flying. Beautiful.
Oh my god, I never saw that, but that's a
Yeah,
classic BO3 glitch.
Beautiful.
But yeah, so that's initial impressions, guys.
Yeah, let's get to specific cutscene thoughts. What I guess before we like dive into to pure substance, what did you guys think about stylistically, tonally? I guess just all these other things about the cutscene. Did you? I guess what so many people wanted like what is it like an ICG or whatever? Or not an ICG, but a whatever they call it.
CGI.
Yeah. What did we think of the fact that it was
that was
just before getting too deep into the substance, what do you think of just what are your other thoughts about the cutscene and how it was done?
Well, personally, I prefer the CGI because I like seeing the characters actually make reactions rather than, like how they do it in kind of a slideshow fashion. But that's just my personal preference. I mean,
I kind of feel like, my perception is definitely warped around. It was probably, rushed again, the whole idea of the production being shifted to Black Ops 5. So I just see it as they didn't have time to do CGI. I'm not against the sort of comic style cutscenes, but I really feel like this was just done because they didn't have enough time.
And I feel like they set a really high bar with that ending Blood of the Dead cutscene.
Yeah, that was very well done.
I can't imagine that cutscene being done in the slideshow form we have now and having the same emotional resonance.
Yeah, that's a really good point too, especially with what you're supposed to feel towards the end of this. The emotional impact of Blood versus this is much different. It's kind of sad because this is the quote unquote send off, but who knows?
Your point about it being CGI being more impactful is really, I think, a good argument. And I probably actually would have cried when I saw it because, heck, I cried at the ending of Infinite Warfare. Well, I got misty-eyed, let's say that. This one, I watched it, and I think, I don't know, I'm partially just being critical because I'm so scarred by Black Ops 3, but also, the lack of realism may have got to me. But at the same time, I think one of the things that I appreciate about Black Ops and even earlier, Black Ops 2 and all that, later, is that it didn't really fill in the characters entirely for us. Origins and so on kind of changed that by giving them a real human form, a real visual, realistic look, and it kind of left nothing to the imagination. So there's something in me that's okay with the comic thing. But like you and I talked about last time, Matt's, who knows what the difference between the comic and the CGI is and why there's a difference anyway. So with that said, I like the comic style, but I don't know why it's there. And I don't entirely know why I like it, but I do like it.
Holla. All right. Everyone, what is your favorite thing from the cutscene, or your favorite part? Your favorite thing that you took from the cutscene?
That's a really good question.
Favorite. I guess I would say maybe just seeing the two crews sort of, even though it's for a tiny bit, interacting, and I guess even the quick interaction with Victus, because I always wanted to see what would happen if sort of Victus kind of met the insanity of Ultimus. So I guess that's sort of the closest we're going to get of everyone sort of interacting with each other. So I can appreciate that.
You know what? I had to really think about it. But I know one part that really impacted me deeply was the smash to black, and then Stuhlinger is did something go wrong? That there was something about that straight moved me. I think that these Victus characters, they nailed them this time around. This was the best presentation we've ever seen of them. It was believable. I would forget that we were playing as those campy characters from Black Ops 2 during this whole playthrough. I liked them. They resonated. They were believable. And then this last thing, every single iteration of zombies is a betrayal story. And this one is we could be oh my god, okay, another betrayal, whatever. But actually the way Stuhlinger was so shocked, I think, was the best performance since Samantha got pulled out of the MPD in Black Ops 1, and she, her despair over being pulled out like that, and being defeated by Richtofen. So like I was pretty moved by that whole scene of Victus having to meet their fate, and just going from playing as them in this very barren map, this wasteland of a map where nothing was happening, and there were not even any zombies anywhere, to suddenly realizing the zombies are all back and there is absolutely no hope. Like that, I got the feels for that.
Yeah, Victus didn't deserve that.
No.
Mac, what do you think?
Hi guys. So, I think I actually agree with Hunter. I don't know if we're talking about the exact same thing because I'm trying to remember the cutscene, but just like that part when I think Sam is like, he says, Stuhlinger says something like, "Yeah, we did it," and then it fades to black and Richtofen is like, "I know, and I'm so sorry." And it's like, oh damn, that really sucks for them. Kind of like when you realize what happened. Yeah, so I mean, I guess I did like that part just for the emotional impact. I also liked, just like when pretty much the twist when you see all the characters just horribly mangled and dead. It was like, wow,
yes.
Oh wow, that was crazy. Every reaction I've watched to the cutscene, some liked it, some were disappointed. Almost all of them were like taken aback by that, like, oh crap, they're all died, they're all dead.
I thought they were going to become zombies because it just seemed like a really like oddly specific thing to do to kind of show them like that. I'm like, oh, there has to be more to that.
Yeah, no, exactly. Like Takeo's pose, especially, he looked mangled enough. I got the same vibe. I was like, you look zombie-like. But no, that was my favorite part. Almost was the graphicness of that part. That was
I mean, I definitely I think you can always argue there should have been more build up, or like the conclusion, like the map in general should have been better set up. But I mean, I like narratively where they're going, right? Like where everybody's prepared, like we finally won, and then just boom, all of them had to die. I like that.
You thought you came here for a happy ending, but this is zombies. Did you forget? Nobody gets out alive.
Oh, I definitely like that narratively. Like, just they had to die. And Nikolai is like, the only way for him to do it was this way. I mean, he definitely can't win a gunfight with them.
It just I feel it feels sort of strange because if the characters, I think it would have been more impactful if they knew they had to die. And that would have been a better way to kind of, at least in my personal opinion.
But this is like my personal theory, I think, is that I feel like if you told them they had to die, they wouldn't accept it. Like, no, they'd be like, no, there has to be another way. Especially the Ultimus characters, because they're so, like, meat-headed. Like, no, we can fight it out. I feel like the only way, like, you can't tell them. They just wouldn't accept it.
And I know, I think that's definitely true, which is why I feel like it might have been, like, an interesting character developing moment where it's like Ultimus finally kind of has, like, okay, we're going to be serious for a minute, because I don't know, I don't know if disrespectful is the right word, but it's just kind of like the characters just kind of died without knowing what was going to happen, and then you see like their mangled corpses, and then that's it. Like it just feels like a weird send off where I think if you really wanted to wrap it up in a nice bow, it's like almost sort of reminiscent of like Mob and Blood of the Dead, where like they actually have to face the end.
I was gonna say, like, imagine if, like, I hate to, like, you could do so many of these imagine ifs, but imagine if instead, like, like in the Revelations, they had to drink the blood and that saved them. This time they have to drink the poison. That would have been a cool parallel. But because
I feel like that makes it seem like more like an end. Oops, sorry.
No, you're good. I was just.
I mean, I don't know if this was on purpose. I mean, I guess they did drink wine, which is kind of blood colored, but yeah.
You were talking. You and I were talking about that last time. Matt's the sort of
the
sacrificial thing.
Yeah.
I think. Well, I gotta say I'm with Tack on that being one of my favorite parts as well. Is it's almost like Nikolai quietly euthanized them in a. In not that I approve of it, but it kind of holds true with his. There's a hardness about Nikolai. We shouldn't be fooled by the character that he's become in a lot of ways. This sort of teddy bear like wise man that he is in Black Ops 4 and then throughout the premises in Black Ops 3. But he's still a Soviet. He's thrown to the front line and those kinds of things. And he's like, you know what? I'm not dealing with these guys. I love them. They're my comrades, but first of all, I don't want them to have to face their death. So in a way, it's sort of like a twisted love. Not that I approve of it, but it is a sort of twisted love. And at the same time, it's like I know they're going to fight back, and I have to do what must be done.
I guess what I would say, maybe rephrasing what I brought up before, is that type of ending I feel like begs for more. Like it does, like where it's kind of like a the betrayal, or I feel like there's more mystery and intrigue around it. Like, oh wow, he really did that. That it kind of makes it seem like this really isn't the end, because
I think it begs for more anyways.
Yeah, I mean it does, sure. But like, I don't know. I feel like when all the characters come to a realization that this is the end, it's like, okay, this is definitely the end. Where it's like, I feel like you could have easily placed this ending in Black Ops 3, and it would have been like, oh, or even back in Origins, and it's like, oh, this is just sort of like the interlude. Where I mean, like from like, it's definitely interesting. It's like, I don't dislike it. I just don't think it's really good, if that makes sense.
No, that's what I thought. I liked that it was like 7.5 minutes long or something. I really enjoyed how long.
It was 8 minutes.
Oh wow.
Was.
Yeah, can you believe it?
I just thought also they could have done more with it, like you're saying. Like there was. Yeah, it didn't quite feel like an ending. It was just really vague, and
it was just another next step. That's all I see it as. But I'm also in denial, so.
True.
So, which of y'all did it move the most? Like, are you? I'm on the side of the spectrum where I'm like, it didn't really break me. Did it break any of you?
No, not
I'm
really.
Pretending it doesn't exist.
I'm telling you, the one that broke me is it wasn't even this cut. It was the Blood of the Dead cutscene, like with Rick Doblin dying.
I felt that.
That one was hard.
I didn't feel anywhere near that kind of emotion with this cutscene. It just kind of, I don't know why. Maybe it was just, I don't know.
I feel like the valid answer is to ask me in a few years if we do get another, like, because like I'm like, okay, is the series going to continue? 2, are they going to eventually bring those characters back? Like if this is the end, then yeah, I'd feel like but
Black Ops 5 in 1 year, baby.
Yeah.
We don't have long to wait.
I know, that's why. So in a year from now.
I am thankful for the downtime, man. We have been so busy for years now, man. We were complaining about downtime, about the off season, like a few years ago, and now it's like we can't breathe.
In a way, our own cycle has been broken.
Well, let's see here. There was something that I wanted to move on to. Wait, did you want to discuss how? Or I didn't know if you wanted to have any more input on how it impacted you or what you thought.
No, I kind of want to harken back to our earlier discussion on how well I feel like in this and in Classified and Alpha Omega, even how well they've done these notes and these radios and making it feel really, really old school. So I don't know. I'm enjoying Tag Der Toten for all that has to offer, sort of in the cutscene. I don't know. Cutscene's just weird to me. Like, why the fuck? Sorry. Why the cheese balls does Samantha have to kill Nikolai? I just don't understand it. I don't know. I block it out.
Not that it's
Well, I guess like the only explanation has to just be Nikolai just can't do it himself.
What a coward!
I mean, that's kind of it's not the best.
He makes like an 11-year-old shoot you in the head because you can't drink poison, but you can kill your 10 closest friends.
Well, I mean,
I
guess he could have drank the poison, but I don't know.
If it's like, not that it's the best explanation, but it's like, subconsciously he might have tried to sabotage it, so he needed someone else to do it. Not that, a child needs to.
Like, if they did if they did it like another way, like Nikolai actually does drank the poison and he just died like that, I would have accepted that probably better than Samantha shooting him.
Well, yeah, I just think, right, I look at the Shadow Man who could not have it that he doesn't exist because he's so selfish, and I'm just like, God damn it, Nikolai, you couldn't rise above. Drink the poison.
It's also like a weird thing too about how, like Samantha's innocence is one of the kind of themes of the map. It's like after this everything goes back to normal, and
Right.
it's like
She
the
gets, like,
last thing she
purified or
did.
whatever.
Yeah, but the last thing you did was shot a man in the head, and like you don't think any of these things are going to be emotionally scarred. Like it's just like this, like unless that's what they're going for. Like the lead in is that it's not a perfect world, and he fails because Samantha is now mentally scarred from everything that happened. But it's
gonna
just
be like
like
it's gonna be like Sarah Connor from the Terminator series. Like she's just badass. She's scarred and she doesn't give a shit. Yeah.
yeah, we could call that to see if that's where they're headed next.
Yeah, maybe. Hopefully they replace her voice actor in the future games.
Because she's always been sort of like a dark character, and it's just weird to suddenly have like, oh, she's gonna go back to being a little girl. It's like, no, that's not gonna happen.
Her story arc is still bizarre to me.
Look at it, Eddie.
So I think this is actually a great segue into exactly what I was hoping we'd do, the thing that I'd forgotten a moment ago. And damn these 115 induced illusions.
Oh, that's so funny.
Oh no, okay, I've got it now. I've got it. And it's just that because I'm like why is this so different from from the killing of the characters, like the countless other times that we've supposedly done. Like, why is this different? Like, what do y'all? I have a theory. So since I'm introducing the subject, I'll let y'all go ahead and run with your thoughts right out the gate. But yeah, I mean, like, how is this different?
I hate to answer a question. Oh, you go first, because I'm just going to answer.
I was just going to say, I don't know if I'm missing something, but I guess it's because these are the last copies of the characters in the whole multiverse.
What do you mean by that? How why are they the last copies of the characters?
Well, I mean, the way I saw the cutscene was like, okay, like destroys the summoning key, the multiverse gets
the whole multiverse is gone.
Not deleted, but pushed into the dark ether or whatever, and like the only characters left are just the ones in this forest.
So
basically, are they in the dark ether?
I don't know where that forest is. I don't know.
But I meant like even in the end, like Victus, are they just sent to the dark ether?
Yeah.
The forest is Agartha, right?
Maybe.
I don't even know.
We didn't even get an answer to that.
But isn't
that what
we'll save that for another podcast.
Oh, really, Tech?
No, I don't know. But no one knows.
Have a breakdown podcast.
Is the forest? It's Tunguska Forest. Is it Agartha? Is it so? Who knows? They never say.
It doesn't seem to be that we're on location anymore.
No.
By the way that Nikolai talks. But my thoughts on that, Mac, you pretty much nailed it. Though actually, Matt's, you said you had a question. You wanted to answer a question with a question. What's that?
I know it's not the best thing to do, but in Black Ops 3, we had to kill like those specific versions, of the Ultimus crew. But they really weren't like the Ultimus crew we knew. It was like a fractured version. So it just, I've never really understood why we needed to kill them back in the first place, because it didn't seem like if they had to kill those specific versions, it should have been the ones from like Alpha Omega and Classified and stuff like that, rather than these weird sort of like offshoots. So I don't know.
Well, you and I, Matt, we discussed that our personal belief that the fracture was created by the moon.
Yeah. So.
In which case, like, if you imagine the moon, it's a shattered mirror, right? As the analogy has been given, and the soul can only go with one. So the four moon characters were definitely the ones with souls. Ultimus Richtofen from Black Ops 1 Moon is the one who kept his soul. Nikolai from what's that dimension tag?
What, 63?
No,
the one that Nikolai's soul went to.
So that's, I guess, the kind of answers. They just went to different, I guess, after when the multiverse was created and the ones that had souls died, they just sort of dissipated to like another part of it where.
Well, wait. What do you mean?
Because like if everything was before, everything before Moon was like a singular timeline, and those four had a soul. Then I feel like if you needed to kill the specific characters. It should have been those 4 with the souls. So the only thing that I wonder is maybe after they died, the soul kind of wound up somewhere else in the multiverse, or somehow that, you know what I'm saying?
Well, that's just the thing, is since it was a linear timeline prior to Moon, they were the one and only ones with the souls. So yes, of course they had the souls. But if you take, if they're, imagine they're going through all their quests and they're holding this mirror up, or they are the mirror that is themselves, right? One whole mirror. And when that's shattered after Moon, their souls went individually with one of those fractures.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah.
So the one that happened to stick in the original, I guess, dimension 1, the first dimension or whatever we want to call it, Richtofen stuck around. And my theory on that is because, he did swap souls with Samantha, so he was in the MPD. He did move into Stuhlinger's body in his Easter egg and buried, and Maxis banished his soul from the MPD in the end of Maxis Easter egg, which then gets put into a zombie to be reincarnated over and over and over. The zombie then walks out of that multiverse. He starts going around collecting pieces, getting the chronorium and all that, and then he walks out of that universe and into the classified universe, touches the Richtofen from that universe, and boom, his soul is now infused into the Richtofen from that universe.
So what's the point of Eddie then, right? Because isn't Eddie the Richtofen's soul?
That's, oh my god, here we go. No, I don't think so.
Wait, little Eddie is... No. Oh, wait, doesn't that... Oh, no, that doesn't.
That doesn't make any...
That doesn't mesh with... No, that doesn't make any sense.
No, because, everything you said follows it completely, and that's what
exactly. And then Matt comes in with a little Eddie meteor. Damn you, Matt, you ruined everything.
Unless it's the only,
The whole time Hunter's talking, I'm just nodding. Yeah, that makes sense, What about little Eddie? Shit!
I mean, maybe it's because the real soul, or that soul is, too corrupted, which is why he's a zombie, or some, that could...
But there's only one soul.
Yeah.
There is more than one consciousness, which actually, let's go back to the cutscene. Nikolai, again, the opening cutscene doesn't align with the closing cutscene, because Nikolai's like, this one who perpetuates this madness, you got to be the one to kill him. Nikolai's not the one who perpetuates the madness?
Yeah, that did not make sense. I don't know why he said that. If anything, you're the only one who wouldn't perpetuate the madness because you don't have your soul and you're not. You're not. That doesn't make any sense.
though, I guess I just now watched the cutscene, and there it could be said that he didn't actually say you have to kill the one who perpetuates his madness. He said he must be destroyed. And I hate to be the one to ask you to do. I hate to ask you to do this, but we don't. So we assume that this means destroying the one who perpetuates the madness, but that's not what happens. So,
I mean, I guess
it's like two different statements that he's saying to her. We must destroy the one who perpetuates madness.
But can't it make sense though? Because can't it make sense that he is talking about himself though? Because at the end he says in the end cutscene, he's like, Monty was right. It's like we're the reason for the whole universe continuing to cycle or whatever. So he could be talking about himself. Like he is the one who perpetuates this. Like I am part of the problem. So you have to kill me.
So did he just fail off screen? Because I know that's another thing where they said Primus will fail. Nikolai is supposed to fall. Unless this is just going into the next game. If this truly is the end, is that just another drop point? Or is that the realization that you have to kill me because I'm always going to fail?
How do you drop a point when you make an intro cutscene and then by the time you make the end cutscene you've dropped the point? That's
Well, I meant because isn't the I mean my thing was sort of I'm thinking of the classified, but yeah, I don't know. It's just sort of a way to...
I totally see it okay, after Alpha Omega, they had plans, but due to time and resources, they had to kind of scrunch it up. But yeah, I don't know.
Holla, do you hold on real quick? We're cutting this out.
Did I just throw you for a loop there, Zach?
No, you're fine. I was wondering. I was actually wanting to cut this off and call this part 1, and if we want to keep talking, do a part 2.
I think I'm down.
I mean, it seems like
that's fine.
I mean, the conversation seems like it's going well. So we'll cut this at 45 minutes and make it Okay. All right. I just want to know whether I can like close this saying this is part 1.
All right. Yeah. Well, good point, Tack. I think that makes it a very digestible segment for all our community folks.
This is part 1.
Yeah. So yeah, thanks guys for joining. We'll continue this in a moment, and everyone, thanks for listening. I'm glad you're enjoying it, and if you stuck out this long, you clearly did. So rock on. Join us over at Call of Duty Zombies forums, callofdutysombies.com, and hop on our Discord. We're constantly chatting out there. There have been some great new integrations created by our admins to just really link up Discord and CODs. The conversation can just flow really smoothly between the sites. So anyways, folks, I'll wrap it up. Thanks again for listening, and we'll see you on the flip side.
Bye, guys.